Okay, guys, good afternoon, good day, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're joining today's stream from. You guys already know the name is Adetola Freeman, and this is going to be a kind of NFP stream with a little bit of a twist. All right, if you saw the cover image, all right, you'd see that it was clearly written there that, NFP for today has been cancelled. All right, or at least that's what the data looks like, based on the fact that there's currently an economic shutdown in the United States. All right, there's currently an economic shutdown in the United States. So there's a huge probability that, the NFP release does not come through. All right. However, because in the financial markets, all right, there's always an iota of possibility, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Now, remember that one of the biggest, one of the biggest concepts in the Forex market is the fact that, the market makers like to play on people's emotions, all right? The market makers like to, pretend and play games with the emotions of retail traders like yourself and myself. So it is based on that wisdom that we're going to be avoiding getting trapped in whatever it is they are planning. Okay, so today we're going to do the analysis just the usual, general, old-fashioned way. All right, but I can assure you that by the end of this session, everyone on the call will at least have a sentiment they can play by, not just for today's NFP, but for the entirety of at least the coming 2-3 weeks. Okay, so last week during the NFP, we talked about USD JPY. All right, for those of you who were on that call, you see that yes, USD JPY actually played out what we expected. Ended up doing about, let me see. Yes, ended up doing about 210 pips. Same thing with Euro USD. Euro USD, we had that push all the way to our final TP. The same thing happened on GBP USD. We had that push all the way to our final TP. So we're going to be doing something unusual today. All right, and that's why oh no. All right, and that's why I said that we're going to be using the old-fashioned approach. All right, so yeah, we're going to be working with the old-fashioned approach, and on that basis, we're going to be formulating a sentiment for this week, next week, and, probably till the end of October. All right, so let me see. Hold on, please. I think I need to increase the brightness on my screen. Okay. So Martian 503, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. But before we go into what I have for you guys today, please, if today is your first time on this stream, all right, I just need you to type first in the chat box, all right? Just type first in the chat box, and then, we'll get to connect, we'll get to talk. Just type first in the chat box, all right? Then we can talk about, what today's stream is expected to be about. Nando, my good friend, you're welcome. Makbul, I think there will be some form of volatility. It might not be solid. It might not move the way we're expecting. All right, but I believe that, you know, there should be something, because whether or not there's NFP, it is still going to commemorate the beginning of the New York market, all right, or the opening of the New York market. Okay, so that's still it. Okay. Yeah, Sifiso Andrew, it's your first time. Woo! Can you tell us where you're joining from, Andrew? Gachuru Joseph, it's your first time too. Wow, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Also, please tell us where you're watching from, where you're joining from. Clinton Nayega, my very good friend, welcome once again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Vincent Lavido Reni, it's your first time. Hooray! You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. That's lovely. Vlody TV, it's your first time too. Smart MT, it's your first time. Usman Soliu, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's always lovely to have you on the show. Dean, you're excited. I am too. Martian 503. Oh wow, it's your first time joining. Telegram link does not always have audio, really. There's usually audio, probably there's a challenge, but I think we'll look into it. Martian, it's good to have you here. It's your first time on YouTube, but I'm sure you've joined us on Telegram a couple of times, so it's good to have you. Usman Soli, it's your first time as well. Wow, can you please tell us where exactly you're joining from? All right, I'm seeing South Africa. I'm seeing who else? Oh, yeah, Joseph Macharia. Or Macharia, it's your first time. Lovely, lovely. Tell us where you're joining from. In the message, Udom. I'm guessing, yes, your first time, but I'm guessing in a message is a Nigerian, probably from Akwa Ibom. All right. Oh, Joseph is from Kenya. Lovely, 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 lovely. Vibe Tunes, it's good to have you here again, once again, once again, once again. Edmond, it's not your first time, but you're from Ghana. You're watching from Ghana. Lovely. Vincent Lavido Reni, are you from Delta State? You said Nigeria. Is it Delta or somewhere close to Delta? Robert from Congo, it's your first time. Woo! I celebrate you, bro. Ordinary level commerce. It's your first time from Cameroon. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Claude Ishimwe. Well, the market should still react, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why I believe the market is still going to react is because the time for the NFP, all right, coincides with the opening of the New York market, all right? So if we are not trading the reaction from the NFP, we will trade the reaction from the opening of the New York market. Do you get it? Daniel Prosper, it's your first time for NFP, and it's your second time on YouTube. Fantastic. Woo, you're welcome. Gachuru David, Joseph from Nairobi, Kenya, you're welcome. Clinton from Uganda, that's my good friend. Usman Soliu from Nigeria. I'm guessing it's either you were from, Usman Soliu is either from Kwara or somewhere close to Kwara. Vincent Lavido Reni from Taraba State. Wow, that's a lovely name, Taraba. All right, I think I'll look into why that name sounds interesting. Lavido Reni. I would look into it. Ramel Rosette, it's your first time. You're welcome. Dandy, it's your first time from Uganda. Wow. Lovely. Ramel from Philippines. Lovely. So, guys, let me just, like I said, we're going to be doing our analysis the old-fashioned way today. All right. So, we're going to start with Euro USD on the weekly time frame. And when I look at Euro USD on the weekly time frame, I want to show you guys how we do proper market structure analysis. All right? Proper market structure analysis. Before I do that, let me quickly respond to some questions in the chat box. Joseph, you're excited. I am too. Dandy, unfortunate for NFP today. Don't worry, we're still going to catch some amazing trades. I'm going to lay out a swing trade idea for you guys that you can work with throughout the rest of the month. So, Henry Aleru from Nairobi, Ateru from Nairobi, Kenya. You're welcome. Ben Callahan from Australia. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Usman Soliu from Kwara. I got it. All right, lovely. But you're currently in Lagos. Beautiful. Organization Society, of course, it is live. This is Adetola Freeman, the one and only. Let me see. Oifile Ditodi, watching from Botswana, Gaborone. Lovely to have you, lovely to have you. Lucky Eli, you asked, is it possible to open multiple positions, or let me say multiple currency pair trades during NFP? Yes, it is possible, but I must also inform you that it is only possible on FBS. All right, because if you use it on other brokers, you're definitely going to get into problem, because the slippage is going to kick you out of the market before you know what's happening. Francisca Sani. Oh, I think this is your second or third time, Francisca, from Nanyuki, Kenya. Lovely to have you, my friend. So I'm going to show you how we break down market structure. In a message from Akwa Ibom, I got it too. 2 for 1. Rohan, don't worry, Rohan. We're still going to be getting some trades. We're still going to be doing some amazing stuff together. So I want to quickly show you what, how I address market structure analysis. All right, and I'm going to show you here. This was the major low. All right, the swing low that gave us the break above this swing guy. All right, which meant that, okay, there was this low too, which meant that price was going to be considered bullish until it broke below this low and then this low. Breaking below this low set the tone for a bearish market structure, where this became the new swing low, and then we saw that price also broke that swing low. All right. When price broke this swing low, it meant that our swing high shifted from here, all right, moved all the way to this point. All right, so that was how our swing high moved. That was the displacement of our swing high. Now, when our swing high got displaced, it meant that this now became our swing low, all right, meaning price remains in a bullish orientation unless it breaks below this low. And that was why when price came into the other block right around here, we saw a continuation of the bullish pressure. But that became a challenge. Why? Why is it a challenge? It's a challenge because when you look closely, you'll see that that meant that this was going to be our swing low. And this being our swing low meant that this became our swing high. All right. So this is the swing low, this is the swing high on the weekly time frame. And we concluded that until price breaks either of these two, we believe that the structure is still consistent. But what did you see that happened next? Price broke below this low. All right. And when price broke below this low, our swing high shifted from this point to this point. All right, so this became our swing high, and ultimately this became our new swing low. Now, because the most recent break of structure was a bearish break of structure, it means that unless price breaks above this high or above this high, then the bearish trend can still be considered active. All right, we can still consider that the bearish trend is still active on the weekly time frame of Euro USD. So if that is correct, then you figure out that price has created something here, which is the neckline. All right, some people will call it a turncoat support and resistance, or supply and demand. So if we have a turncoat support and resistance or supply and demand there, then you can come here and also identify the other block here. Okay, there's an other block there, but not only is there an other block there, but I'm seeing that there is also a fair value gap. Yeah, there's a fair value gap right there, I think. Yes. So ultimately, now that we have our zone on the weekly time frame, all right, the next thing we want to do is to go to the daily time frame. Remember, we're talking about top-down analysis, all right? We're talking about how to do multi-time frame analysis without blowing it out of proportions or without completely complicating matters for yourself. Hold on, before we go further, let me quickly respond to a couple of people. Kenton, you're welcome once again. It's good to see you. Francisca Sani, yeah, I remember that I saw you on one of my streams. I think it must have been last month. Organization Society, you're welcome. Joan Antonio, welcome once again, my good friend. Kingslina Omadu from Nigeria. Kingslina, I want to throw my coin in the art and say you're probably from the South region. All right, South, not Southeast, South, you know. Yeah. Nwesige Garrett David from Kampala, Uganda. Lovely to have you here. Moshe Malaudzi, you're welcome. Absolutely welcome. All right, so now that we have our zones on the weekly time frame, I think we can also add this trend line on the weekly time frame. But for now, let's go to the daily time frame. We're still talking about our top-down analysis, and we want to see how this plays. So let's come to the daily time frame. Now, if you look closely at what is happening on the daily time frame, you figure out or you discover that price is currently trading in a channel. Okay, so that is one channel. All right, but there's also a bigger channel that encompasses all of this. So we see that Euro USD is trading on the daily time frame now. It's trading in a channel within a channel. All right. So now that we know this, the next thing we can do is to go to the 4 hours time frame and break down the price action within this channel. Do you get it? We want to break down the price action within this channel. Now, please note that these things that I'm teaching you are premium education. All right, some of you are getting so combat by all of the, you want to trade smart money, you want to do ICT concepts, you want to do Elliott wave concepts, you want to learn harmonic patterns, and then you end up complicating trading unnecessarily for yourself. All right, I remember when we were in, college, secondary school, in some places, during physics classes and sometimes during mathematics classes, you will be given random sets of data and simply asked to draw a slope of that data, all right, to statistically present a slope of that data, all right? And that's what we're just going to do, all right? Because some of you, you're so concerned about, liquidity concepts, you're so concerned about opening range concepts, you're so concerned about all these different concepts, so much that at the end of the day, you have learned so much that your analysis becomes useless. What do I mean by your analysis becoming useless? I mean that you start to suffer from analysis paralysis, which is the fact that when one concept is telling you it should be a buy, another concept that you have learned over time is telling you it should be a sell. All right, so I'm simply saying it's time for you, probably it's time for you to unlearn all of these things that you have choked yourself up with, all right, and then break things down into simple concepts, into very simple bits that you can be able to benefit from in the long run, okay? All right, so let's see. Oxwally, hi from Nigeria. Beautiful. EXS beats, no NFP. Well, it doesn't mean we're not going to trade. We've been trading since way before we started live trading the NFP. So we'll still catch a couple of trades. Mondays on the YouTube, on the Telegram channel, Mondays we have a stream where all we do is pure price action, pure technical analysis, and it's amazing. David and Jaggi from Kenya, lovely. Organization Society from Cameroon. Of course, you know FBS is the best. You know that already. Onyinyechi Teresa, if you're new and you're still trying to gather information, then I would recommend that you join our Telegram channel. The link should be in the description. It's a platform where you get to have access to a lot of amazing facilities that can help develop your trading even faster. All right, so here we are. Let's do a breakdown of the price action on 4 hours time frame Euro USD. So this was the swing low, meaning that was the low that price broke when it was going to come bearish. All right, you can see the move also broke below this low. All right, so when it was going to get rejected from the upper line, the upper trend line of the, when it was going to get rejected from the upper trend line of the channel, all right, the impulse broke structure here. And that gives us this as our swing high, all right? Meaning that if we're looking for an order block, all right, or a demand zone, it should be based on the point where that high got broken, okay? So where did that happen? It happened during this impulse, all right? This impulse was where that happened. And if that is correct, it simply means that our demand zone must have been somewhere around here. All right? Which is why you're seeing that now Euro USD seems to be appearing bullish. All right? It's simply because price, of course, is reacting from this demand zone that overlaps the trend line support of that internal trend line. Let me go to the 8-hour time frame and show you what we're talking about. Let's do daily and show you what I'm talking about in more detail. So we're seeing price trading within this channel, all right? But this channel is within this much larger channel, all right? And if you wanted to do the price action breakdown on the daily time frame, you would be seeing, or you'd realize that the demand zone on the daily time frame is all of this. All right, this entirety is the demand zone on the daily time frame, which, as you can see, also overlaps the trend line support. All right, so I know somebody's asking me, okay, so now that this is the situation, how do I pick a trade? How do I find myself a trade? All right, my answer to that question is going to simply be plot this trend line and then based on that trend line, wait for a break and retest. And voila, you're good to go. So that's generally what you want to wait for on Euro USD. Is this clear enough? If it's clear, I need you to type in the chat box very clear. Just type very clear in the chat box so I know that you understood what I just explained. Tamim Hussein, I just explained to you. Please do not spam the chat, okay? Please do not spam the chat. I just explained practically what my expectation is, okay? All right, fantastic. Pros Joe, very clear. Belaja, Forex, Besama, very. Okay, you want XAUSD? We'll get to that. Emil, Claire, Burabari, Kelvin, Claire, Edmond, Claire, lovely. Daniel Prosper, very clear. Vincent, very clear. Nandom, very clear. First Love, clear. Abu Bakri, thank you so much. Amen. Thank you. And you too. MEJ Daniel, very clear. Beautiful. All right. So someone is asking, all right, First Love, that's Tombury from Nigeria. Then you should be from Delta, South region, the Water Rhine, the River Rhine areas, basically. Emmanuel Etu, you can't open FBS in the UK. Well, I think it's because of the regulatory bodies in the United Kingdom. I believe you're a Nigerian. If you are and you still have your Nigerian documents, you can go ahead and create an account using your details as a Nigerian. Okay, I think that should work. Forrest, there might not. I'm saying there might because the whole cancellation of the NFP could simply be can be adopted by market makers if they notice that so many people still have their positions open with a possibility of them losing the money. So let me explain. If the market makers observe that in spite of because of the fact that there is no news or the NFP has been cancelled, if they observe that more people are leaving their trades that they would naturally close, all right, they are leaving it because they feel like, well, since there is no NFP, I can just hold this trade and I will still be able to recover. So if smart money observes that that is the case and many people have trades open, they can engineer liquidity based on those positions. All right, engineer liquidity to sweep all of those positions into their pockets and then leave a lot of people crying because they were not prepared for the eventuality. All right, so it's like the 5 foolish virgins who never expected that the bridegroom was going to come so late. So they only, went on the journey with, just the little bit of oil or fuel that they could afford to have, okay? Emmanuel Etu, I'm sorry about that. I'm really, really sorry about that. But if your friends are trying to do their stuff in the United Kingdom with United Kingdom documents, it most likely will not work. All right, so guys, if you're enjoying this session so far, I need you to just drop a fire emoji. Just drop a fire emoji in the chat box. Nothing else, no plenty English, just drop a fire emoji. All right. You can also see reactions to the left. You can use that. All right. You can use the love, the love emoji to the love reaction to the right, or alternatively, just drop a fire emoji. All right. Forrest, I would recommend that whatever position you have open right now, you put or apply a break even. All right. Make sure you apply a break even. Nikki, we are not going to be using buy stop and sell stop today because the NFP itself has been cancelled. All right, so we're just going to do things the old-fashioned way and we will not trade straddle. All right, for those of you who are interested in learning how the buy stop, sell stop strategy works, all right, you might want to check out what straddle means. All right. Oh, beautiful. You guys are enjoying the session. Amazing. Woohoo! Fantastic. So, guys, there's a quick poll that I just created. All right, there's a poll that I just created up there. All right, guys, please respond to that poll. I just want to gauge and know how it is with all of us, all right? So just respond to that poll while we just continue having fun. So we've done Euro USD. Now, a lot of you are asking for gold, so we're just going to jump over and do gold. Because you have captured my heart. My heart with your love. Oh, oh, oh. You have captured my heart, consumed my heart with your love. All right, so weekly time frame, gold is clearly set bullish. Israel Adedeji, it's supposed to be 1:30 Nigerian time, but I doubt that it will be. But tentatively, the NFP doesn't seem to be getting released today. If all I say is, that's more than enough. So this was the point where the weekly time frame price action or market structure went bullish. So we had a break here. But along the line, I think when you look at the 8 hours time frame, which is the chart that I am currently on, you'll see that price recently had a bullish break of structure here. Now, that bullish break of structure is important for a couple of reasons. Let me go to the 4 hours time frame. Okay, let me still wait on the 8 hours. I'll show you first, and then we can go to the 4 hours time frame. So down here, you have a truckload of liquidity, all right, from this week. Talk is cheap. You're welcome, my good friend. Penny Rankin, thank you so much. So we have liquidity here, all right. We have our other block here, the major one on the 8 hours time frame. We are now going to go to the 4 hours time frame and see if we can find one that aligns with this fair value gap or the center of that fair value gap. So 4 hours time frame, let's see. Come on, what's this mess? All right, so we have a fair value gap there. If I zoom in, we see that, yeah, it seems there is a demand zone here as well. So we can just enlarge the demand zone to cover this. All right, the fair value gap, this is liquidity here. All right. A great house. Yes, of course. Straddle trading strategy has been solid. At least I've used it for over 2 years now, and it always delivers. You just got to know what rules to follow. All right, so it would seem gold is currently trading within this channel. All right, it's currently trading within that channel. So if that is correct, all right, it means that gold might likely want to do a drop into this demand zone. All right, then a possible bounce back up. Okay. But tentatively, you might want to just mark out this point. All right, as the target for the bullish movement. Does this make sense? If it does, please let me know in the chat box. Just type clear in the chat box if this makes sense. Israel Chuku, I'm sorry, I might not be able to comment on that, but if you go to the website and you make that complaint on the live chat, all right, using the live chat feature, I'm sure that someone will respond to you and provide you a tangible response. Yes, a great house. I believe that the shutdown, the economic shutdown, should be over before CPI. Nonetheless, we can still do our, what's it called now? We can always still do our regular, old-fashioned approach. Yeah, so guys, this is gold. Okay, this is gold. Pretty much. Also remember that gold enjoys reacting from inside demand zone, from inside fair value gaps. All right, so if inside this fair value gap is where you get the confirmation, preferably a sweep break retest pattern within this this system, then trust me, you are good to go. $38.40. Well, 38.40 is somehow aligned with the point of this trend line, but my preference would be to wait to see price break below this lows. All right, break this lows, come back for a retest here, then we can conclude on selling. Otherwise, we just buy from here and hold the buy. Yes, Israel Adedeji, that's literally what I'm doing. Adeoye Akijie, please do not put a sell order on the break of the trend line. What I'm saying is you want to be strategic, all right? You want to be strategic. So whatever happens, you want to ensure that your risk management is catered to, all right? Okay, I'm seeing that about 16% of us indicated that we do not know how to journal our trades. All right, we do not know how to journal our trades. So I'm going to give you this this update. All right, if you go to the link in the description, all right, if you read through the description, you would see a link to the FBS trade journal, all right, trade journal 2.0. The FBS trade journal 2.0, you're going to see the link in the description. So that is one. Two, we have also put together a write-up, all right, an article that can educate you guys on how to learn any trading concept and be sure that you know it. All right, you want to be able to learn trading concepts, whether it is ICT, SMC, whatever the concept is. If you want to be able to learn a concept so well to a point where you are confident that you actually know it, all right, there's a system that you can use to assess yourself, to examine how well you know that thing, all right, and it is called I think it's called the Feynman approach, all right, the Feynman approach. And if you're confused about how to access that, that article, I think I'm just going to drop a link to the article down here. Yeah, so the link is in the description. You can just, the link is in the chat box right now. If you want to learn more about the Feynman approach to learning how to trade, how to, how to also assess how far you have learned or how much you have learned. If you want to check whether you're truly confident about it. All right, the link is just in the chat box. All right, it's in the chat box. All right, so it's very, very possible that the news does not bring volatility into the markets. All right, so we're just going to continue with our analysis. No, Forrest, don't be worried. If the market does not go crazy, if you don't see volatility, it's all natural. And if you do see volatility, just know that it simply means that the market makers are setting that up as a trap. So when you break down the price action on the weekly time frame of GBP USD, you'd see that this was the previous swing low that got broken. When that swing low got broken, this became our swing high. Right, this point right here became our swing high. And after this became our swing high, all right, this became the new swing low. Okay, so right now we're seeing that on GBP USD weekly time frame, price is testing the supply zone at the swing high. All right, it's testing the supply zone at the swing high. So let's go to the daily time frame and see. What do we find on the daily time frame? We find something quite interesting. So we're seeing this pattern. All right, we're seeing this pattern present itself, which has already given this reaction. All right. So right now, I think all we have to do to confirm that GBP USD is bearish is to see what the 4 hours is looking like. Because already a sweep break retest pattern on the daily time frame tells us a story that we need to pay attention to. All right, so for me, I think there are two zones that I want to consider for a sell entry on GBP USD. This would be the first, and this would be the second. Forrest, yes, please. The lazy programmer, does China's holiday have an effect on gold trade or the market in general? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Penny ranking, please do. All right, please do. Hold on. All right, so for me, I think the quest to sell gold, GU, would begin from the break and retest of this level. All right, if I'm able to see a clear break and retest, of course, I remember you, sir. I don't want to call a name now and go and mess up. But I'm tempted to say it's either Mr. Sheung or Mr. Let me see. All right, Mr. Elijah. Sorry. Uh, I'm sorry. I've actually trained a lot of people. A lot of people. Clinton, now, yeah, guys, there no correlation, no form of correlation between GU and EU. Of course there is. Of course there is. The correlation is the US dollar. So when the US dollar begins to misbehave, then sometimes there can be, differences in how they react. So can you guys see the news is out, but the market is not making much of a move. All right, the market is not making much of a move. Now, I know the reason why you asked if there's no correlation between EU and GU is because here I seem to be expecting a buy, break and retest, whereas here I said a sell. Now, let me explain why. When we came to EU on the weekly time frame, this is the supply zone on EU on the weekly time frame. Now, inside that supply zone, we're seeing that price has not yet completed the target. Because for me, I believe that before the sales can fully begin, price might most likely want to test either this point or this one here. All right? Of which price has not yet actually reacted from either of these ones at the moment. So the same way I said on GU, if we are able to see a break, if I'm able to see price break below this point, then of course we will sell, whether or not it gets here. And then the same thing is what we are talking about for GBP USD as well. Do you get it now? Oh, that's true, Mr. Morakinyo. That's the name I wanted to remember because this Elijah is not the name I'm familiar with. All right, so I think we're going to call it a wrap for today here. All right, we've talked about GU. I've shown you my expectation on GU from the weekly time frame down to the 4 hours time frame. I've shown you my expectations on gold. All right, I think I also did that from the weekly time frame down to the 4 hours time frame. Okay, now to Euro USD, also from the weekly time frame to the 4 hours time frame. So it is my expectation that you guys will take these setups, all right, and make some money from them during the course of the month. Okay, make some money from them during the course of the month. So question. If this is clear and it makes sense to you, can you please just drop a thumbs up in the chat box? Just drop a thumbs up in the chat box. Just drop a thumbs up. John and Jenga, first time, fantastic. Please join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Join the Telegram channel. Every Monday, we have live sessions like this on Telegram. And then when there is a news release, we have sessions live on YouTube right here. Keep the thumbs up coming, guys. Penny Rankin, you want to know if you're safe? Well, I think you're safe. You should be. Talk is cheap. I'm sorry the NFP was cancelled. I had nothing to do with that. It wasn't because of anything that I did. Daniel, it's good to see you again. Oh, welcome, 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 bro. Henry, why do you want to have 3 sons? Is your house powered by the sun? Pardon me, that was just an attempt at being funny, all right? That was a joke. Beautiful. Ken Obwanga, the truth is these are swing trades, all right? So it doesn't mean that you cannot explore the short-term opportunities based on your own preference, all right? If you see something that looks good to you, you can trade it, all right? But to be honest, I am more of a swing trader when I do my technical analysis, and this is the direction that my swing trade technical analysis is pointing to. Yes, Jeremiah, it was. Oh, Timo, sorry for coming late. We've actually done a lot. You can always just rewind and then just watch from the beginning. Jeremiah, yes, you can always rewind and start from the beginning. Emmanuel Etu, I wouldn't know about that. I honestly wouldn't know about that. Yeah, Joseph, it's always going to be on YouTube. You can always watch and catch up again, okay? Jeremiah, I have responded to you times without number. I said it was cancelled. And because you're just joining, you can just rewind and see what we have discussed in your absence. All right, guys. So I think we're going to just wrap up here. It's been 1 hour having fun with you guys. I don't know if you noticed, but I can't. I'm not with my glasses today. I think my glasses expired, so I got to go get another one. It's probably why I'm not seeing the screen as clearly as I would. But I would crave your indulgence to allow me leave at the moment. All right. So thank you so much, guys, for always turning up when I call. All right. Thank you for always showing up. I love you guys from the bottom of my bones. All right. And I'm looking forward to next week, Monday on Telegram. I'm looking forward to us having this vibe, this lovely atmosphere once again. So please click the link in the description. Join us on Telegram. It would be my honor to host you. AC Miracles. Yes, that's exactly what it means. Because the US economy is currently on a shutdown. Emmanuel Etu, I would love that. I use prescription lenses. That's going to be a private conversation. You can always reach out to me on Telegram or Instagram or any of the grams. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love you guys and see you on Monday. Bye-bye.